All right, battle buddies, enough with my poor attempts of being multilingual, which I'm pretty good at Minnesotan, but not too much else. Interviews. You finally made it. Someone in HR, they either felt really sorry for you and decided they'd give you a call and they wanted to check that mark off that they brought someone pathetic in like yourself, right? No, that's not what happened. Or you got in through networking and having a fantastic resume, which I'm going to go with that since you've been watching a lot of my banter over the last several months. So interviewing, do's and don'ts. Let's focus on the do's, not the don'ts, all right? There's a few things that I think is critical, all right? And that is having accurate, good intel. How do you get that, right? You got that old interweb thing out there that seems to be pretty handy these days. You can do a lot of research on LinkedIn, company website. Hopefully, though, you've been talking to some of your pals that have gotten you in to the interview that give you the inside track on what's going on with the company, right? Sure, these companies post all this stuff about how great they're doing, send that stuff to Wall Street, but we know all it is that dude that was selling OxyClean and shit, right? Billy Mays back in the day. That's what a lot of these executives are doing, is trying to keep that shareholder price up. So you got to find out what's really going on. So your buddies, right? Obvious place to take a look. Ask them questions. Hey, man, what's up with you guys these days? I noticed you missed your number to Wall Street by a ton. How do we get around that? People always call when I'm making these amazing videos. I don't get it. I guess I'm just that popular. So you ask your buddies. You get that intel, right? Great source. Okay. So now when it comes to, let's say that you're coming from, I don't know, El Salvador. I'm just guessing. We probably don't have a base there, but who knows? Probably do. And you've been in the Army or the Navy for the last 28 years. You don't know anybody back home anymore, right? So you reach out to the old internet and you go on to LinkedIn and you see that this person who reached out to you from the HR department is like, hey, we're going to have you talk to Ted Johnson. That's a pretty common name up here in Minnesota, with an O-N, not an E-N. All right? So you go on LinkedIn and you look up Ted Johnson with an O. And you notice, wow, dude's been there for 20 years. Oh, I see that he likes trout fishing. He's a volunteer coach for Youth Little League. That's pretty cool. Oh, I see that he's veteran friendly. You see where I'm going with this, guys? Is that you want to take a look at these online sources as much as possible and gather as much intel as possible. Now, things to look out for as well would be blind spots. Obviously, we're coming into political season here, and if you see that this person's a staunch party X or a huge supporter of this fella, and you won't be able to keep your tongue tied about that guy or that woman that he's supporting, probably not a good idea to go in on that interview in the first place, or at least know that you should be able to set that BS aside, okay? So this is about getting a good feel for what's going on, who you're meeting with. All right, so you get in, right? I'm a huge advocate. We do it all the time in Battle Buddies. We give these guys 3x5 cards. And what they do is they write down all of the questions that they want to ask during the interview. You should have on your note cards, your book, if you're using a book like this, you know, with the Battle Buddy logo on it, obviously. And you should have 20 to 40 questions written down, okay? It's critical to have things written down. You want to know things like, what's your guys' biggest challenges here? What are initiatives for this year? This is all dependent on the type of job that you're going in on. If you're going to become a sandwich artist or a burrito engineer, You might not need to know these types of things as far as corporate initiatives and stuff goes, but you still might want to know. At least it makes you look smarter on the interview. And a big thing is that there's a reason why these jobs are posted online. And that's because currently they're not able to solve a problem. Or they've been able to solve a problem and they just need more laborers, more horsepower, more people to do those types of things. Hopefully that's the thing. So you want to know, what is it you're coming on to solve? What are the current challenges? Is there something that some person can't handle on that team? Are they looking to backfill this role? Did someone leave after X amount of time? Let's say that you come in and you didn't realize that this is an FMLA thing and you're a fill-in person while someone's out on maternity leave. Plus, I don't know what they get, a couple months or whatever after that stuff happens. Up to a couple of years, I think. You want to know the situation that you get yourself into. Also, vets, let them know that you're very coachable. All right? Once upon a time, we didn't probably even know how to go and qualify on the range. Chances are that you Air Force guys, that your drive was probably needing some work, or your putting, your short game, whatever it happens to be. We all have barriers that we had to have be coached on to help us overcome that stuff. When you're on these interviews, tell stories, okay? You're going to get blasted with the typical bullshit of, so, Chuck, tell me about a time when you were on a team and you were managing it and you had two people that didn't get along. Well, the reality is that it happened all the time, and I'd see some crazy shit go down where about 20% of the time it would turn into a fight. Well, you probably don't want to talk about that, okay? What you want to talk about is how you took these tense situations, like whatever, and you got in and you mediated a peace proclamation between two guys that didn't get along for whatever reason, okay? So you want to tell stories. You can find online plenty of places that will tell you what these typical things are that are posted of these interview questions. Tell me about a time when, tell me about a time when, tell me about a time when, how did you this, how did you do that, how did you do it? Well, tell me about a time when you couldn't meet a deadline and quota was blah, all this shit. 90% of these things you can find online in practice with your dog if you have to. Okay, hopefully you guys can't hear him chewing on his deer antler. So study those typical questions. Do a bunch of research on the company. If you're going in to some place that you plan on working at for the next month, okay, and they give you a paycheck, up to the next few decades, you should know what the hell you're getting yourself into, okay? If their values don't line up with yours, pull the plug, get out of there, okay? So, always, always, always be prepared to discuss your production numbers. You should be able to tell them what types of challenges you had to solve, how you went about that, and what your results were. Be honest with your results. The last thing that you want to do is say, I crushed quota every single month and did 5,000%, guys. I am better than the great Billy Mays. Okay? If you're not Billy Mays, keep your mouth shut. Just say, hey, I was a 47% producer, but good thing is, the office average was 41%, so I was 6% above everyone else. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being a little short, too. It's not ideal, but maybe you just needed some coaching or something. Okay? We talked about that. So, those are some interviewing basics. I'll stick with interviewing here this week. I'll keep on putting out some tidbits. And like always, thank you for watching my 10-minute rant. Hopefully you got a little value. Keep spreading the words, battle buddies. Let's keep on bringing these vets here that we got and get them up to speed. It's amazing the messages I get every single day. So without you guys helping spread the word, chances are we wouldn't be able to do our mission. So have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.